to see y'all. Hope to see some of y'all in the chat because we're going to need to have a discussion on this Folktales tonight. We want to go to Uber conference and fire up that conference call. Lines are open. Hoping to get a special guest tonight. I don't know if he's going to show up, but I sent the direct invite with the direct number. Let him know that he could join us. You know what I'm saying? Hey, family, welcome to the congregation of the mic. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. I am your host, Brother Hatim. Oh man, I forgot to plug in the mic. So let me get y'all together on. I'm sorry. See the mic don't mess up everything. Production. This is a Heart of a Simple production. Of course, this is Folktales for grown folks. Well, we strive to blow up your old paradigm. Man, here y'all go. Thank you, my dear. Stack up on your water. It's going to be a rough conversation tonight.
Peace, this is Brother Hatim, and you have joined us on Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Be sure to check out our site and subscribe at tribe.gyenamejourney.com.
All my brothers and sisters, hold hands and bow your head. Let us pray. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth amongst the gods. How long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? I say, in the form of God, please, you better do it. Knock it off the head. Live them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They go upon in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of foot. I have said, your God, if all of you are children of the Most High, that you shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Rise, O God, judge the earth. Thou shalt inherit all nations. Allahu Akbar.
Black signal has went out. I'm waiting for the family to congregate.
This is Kadar Fix, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Keep up with the journey. Check out what we have done in the past. Go to journeyarchives.com.
This is Abby Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Be sure to follow Gye-Nyame Journey on Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter. Check us out. Join the journey.
This is Abby Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio with Monica. Enjoy. This is Marina with the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
This This is Willie. Welcome to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I want to give a shout out to Silver Kevin, all my Silver Nation out there. I want to give a shout out to my mom. I want to give a shout out to my dad for raising me and my family for being around me. And I want to give a shout out to the people of my generation that's trying to do something big.
And you're listening to Gye-Nyame Radio.
Peace, Hotel. It's Mansour Hotel, aka Mr. Deity. Mr. Deity, does it sound good? I think it sounds great. Right now, you're listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry its name. This is Brother Hatem coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Shouts out to the Gye-Nyame tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up. Peace. If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry its name. This is Brother Hatem coming at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Shouts out to Chili Sasha. Stand up. You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Peace. This is Gina. And you are now
you listen to your daddy.
on Gye-Nyame Radio. Peace.
Alright, you heard me, family. We had enough. Man, oh man, oh man. Alright, some of the family is coming in. So let's start for a couple of minutes. So we're going to go through some of the news before we get into these folk tips, because I need all your wisdom on this one. Because this one right here is a trouble starter. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It will appear at first to be a battle of the sexes type thing. You know what I'm saying? Because like, Brother Hatem, you reading sexist folk tales. You're reading sexist folk tales. No, I'm reading a folk tale. And I want to make sure that we all are able to get the lesson. All are able to get the lesson. Right? This is a folk tale that we might be able to look at some leadership qualities. We might be able to look at some society qualities. We might be able to look at some of your qualities. The piece is, I don't want you to miss the message. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because it's important when we start looking at these folk tales that we start understanding that these folk tales are less about the animals and more about us. These folk tales are less about the deities and more about us. And these folk tales was dropped on us to give us some insight on life so that we could actually get some story experience, so that possibly we could translate that experience, that story, because story is different than just straight facts. See, people want to hit you with the facts, but it's not facts that move people. It's experiences and it's pains. And I know all of us, well, let me speak for myself, because I got to stop speaking for everybody. I am an expert on me. I'm not an expert on you. So let me speak on me. I, for one, can go to a movie and I could watch a situation. I could go to a play, I could watch a situation. I could go to a comedy show and I could listen to a situation. I could listen to a story. I could sit around a fire and I could listen to a story, and I'm able to translate the information that was given to me into my life. And maybe I'm rare at that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some of y'all out there have experienced where you have been able to get a story and extract the lesson in the story and apply it to your life. Let me give you an example that I often use. When I was younger, there was a group of older kids that used to smoke cigarettes, play spades, flirt with the girls, and stuff like that. And one of my friends at that time was a little brother of these individuals in this crew. And, you know, I would go, and I wasn't necessarily trying to hit on none of the girls because I was too damn young. I wouldn't know what to do with them in the first place, right? I'm just being honest. I didn't necessarily want to smoke. You know what I'm saying? Just wanted to be with the cool kids, at least for a moment. And everybody focused, all the older kids were focusing on each other and not necessarily focusing on me, so I could sit back and I could learn. So one dude who was struggling in school came in and told a story. And the story he told was about a test. And he said, man, I was in this test, this white dude, he gave us this test. And, the beginning of the test said, read all of the instructions before you proceed. Read all of the instructions before you proceed. I didn't listen. I went in, I started working on stuff and trying to figure out the math that we had never gotten to class, trying to figure out the incidents that we never got in the class. I started reading about stuff that I never got in that class, and it got very complicated, and I got frustrated, and I got up and I left. And he said, as I was leaving, I gave the paper to the teacher, and the teacher said, you didn't read instructions. I said, no, I read the instructions. I just didn't follow the instructions. He said, because you didn't follow instructions, you got to F. So I listened to the story, and I was maybe about 11 years old. Yes, Gina G.
Did you realize something when you slide down the basement?
Yeah, I seen it, baby. Go on. I'm on
There's
there.
water in the streets.
I know. My best basement flooded, and Gina decides she want to tell me why we are on air. It's real life here at Gye-Nyame Journey. All right, so to finish my story, so I listened to this dude. You know what I'm saying? He was smoking. You know what I'm saying? He was doing a lot of crazy stuff for a young dude. But he dropped some information, and he dropped it in the story because at the end of the story, it was all funny. He got an F. I said, boom. I filed it away. 3 years later, I'm sitting in the class with a white dude who gave us a test. And the test, after I read the instructions, said read all of the instructions and go all the way to the end of the story. Go all the way to the end of the test before you do anything. Before you do any work, go all the way to the end of the test. And I'm remembering this story because that's the part I left out. It said on the instructions, read the instructions. You read the instructions. Instructions told you to read all of the problems. And before you write anything down, go all the way to the end. Then come back and start the test over. Right? So I did that. I looked at each page. I'm looking at this shit. I said, we didn't cover none of this. This looked like trigonometry. This is geometry. This is a general business class. What? I'm going through and I'm seeing people struggling and writing, and I'm going through the pages and I'm looking at the problems and I'm reading out. Damn, this is world history. He didn't say nothing about any of this. So I read all the way to the end of the test. And it says at the end of the test, if you have followed the instructions and you have read all the way to the end of the test, sign your name, quietly get up and take the test to the teacher. So I signed my name. I walked up to the teacher. He said, Mr. Brown, you have received an A in my class because you have learned the major lesson of business. And that is learning how to follow instructions. So from this one guy's story, not from his facts,
not from his figures, not from not from anything else, from his story, I was able to overcome an obstacle in my life. It was a minor obstacle because they don't even teach this damn class no more in school. But the point was that because I was able to listen and get information from somebody that was a step ahead of me in school, I was able to pass. Matter of fact, he was 3 steps ahead of me. I was able to pass the test from his experience because I listened. So this is the importance of stories when we start really looking at them, family. Our kids might not be getting stuff because we're not putting them in a framework to where it's really memorable. You got to remember, stories are what holds culture together. And if a story can hold a culture together, stories can teach you geometry. Stories can teach you physics. Stories can be structured to teach you trigonometry. It's all in the stories that are being told to you by the master teachers. And when you look into our history, this is how our teachers taught. Because stories move a very important thing. Stories move your emotions. And didn't we just have a workshop about emotions and about learning to read the emotions and learning how to ask the proper questions when emotions rise? So what I'm telling you, ladies, excuse me, it's real life here, Jim. I know y'all not down there playing in that water. Y'all don't need to be down in the basement. Get up here. Close that door. It's real life here at Gye-Nyame Journey. I appreciate y'all dealing with me. And I wouldn't have my show any other way because I'm able to interact with my kids at the same time I'm able to interact with y'all. And this is what it's all about. It's about us building tribe. It's about us building family. And as rambunctious as my kids can be, I catch them every now and then imitating me talking to you. I catch them wanting to do their own shows. I catch them reading stuff because they see they dad reading. I catch them listening to stuff. You know what I'm saying? They're not just playing games. They're listening to stuff. And they're learning and they're picking up and they're throwing the vocabulary in there. And they're learning not just from my stories, but they're learning from my actions. And we got to be aware that our children, I said children, look at that. Our children do everything that we do. All right, family. So I want to welcome you once again to Gye-Nyame Journey. We're going to get in the story in a minute, but what I want to cover right now is a little bit of news that's popping up on the Gye-Nyame Journey timeline. I want to thank everybody that contributes. CeeLo, Navita, all those that are part of the Gye-Nyame Journey that's posting up, because eventually what's coming at y'all is we will be creating a newsletter. Now, this week, coming up on this Kaumba, because I'm not going to do no push-ups tonight. So on this Kaumba, and the date for that is August 18, 2018, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., we will be having the African Village Arts Festival at 1251 Brighton Road, also known as the Kwanzaa Park. I want to see you in a place. Some of the stuff that's going to be going on, we got the African Village Arts Festival. We got music, live music and bands. We're going to have food, vendors, martial arts workshops, arts and craft, poetry, face painting, culinary arts, painting, and henna tattoos. We're going to have some dance going on, and of course, we're going to have a live DJ. I don't know who that DJ is, and some more. And on top of that, at 5 p.m., we're going to have a tribute to Prince. Live music, trivia contest. Now, check this out. I've seen some of the prizes, and the prizes is off the hook. If you're a Prince fan, you need to be in a place. We got a guitar artist that's going to be coming up, and maybe Sister Navita will call in and let people know. For those that want to call in, the number is 614-556-4535. It should be pinned at the top. Once again, that's 614-556-4535. They got kombucha sampling on here. I'm not gonna have any of that June ready by then, because I got these last little bits, and by that time it's gonna be too mature, and I'm not. For those novices that's just trying and sampling this, I'm not putting that out because this batch was already too mature for some of those new people anyway. The heat makes it mature a lot faster, and I could go out and try to get some and make some, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. So I'm gonna have to apologize for the kombucha sampling. You know what I'm saying? But if people want to, if enough people hit me up, we could do a kombucha making workshop. Actually, we make June. Everybody that's in my family, we make June. We got one sister that has been able to convert her SCOBY so that she could produce kombucha. We don't produce kombucha, we produce June. Brother Hatim, what's the difference? One is made with cane sugar, the other is made with raw honey. I chose to go the raw honey direction because our people got enough sugar. And I'm trying to introduce us to stuff that I believe is more healthy. And I believe that honey is more healthy. Honey is healthier for us than the sugar. Because honey, raw honey, if you take it, right? If you take it in any form, as long as it's raw, it'll help you with some of your allergies. It'll help your body heal. And on top of that, it tastes good. Brother Kwame say, yeah, bro. You gave me some Phoenix blood. My Kwame was so... It is not old, man. It's just heated and it's... But this is the good piece, Kwame. You won't have to buy none for a while. You know why? Because you take it in shots. Your stuff is mature and all of the nutrients that was in those herbs have been extracted. Why? Because the temperature that's outside. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you want to turn it back in and you get a credit for the future, anybody that got any of this batch, you want to turn it back in and I give you credit for the future, I have no problem doing that because I want to make sure that everybody is satisfied. I want to make sure, but my key piece is the whole health piece, right? You know what I'm saying? For me, I could drink it. Ever tried Ghana honey? We got the hookup. The issue with the Ghana honey, let me say this. The issue with the Ghana honey for what we're doing. Now, I've tried some Ghana honey, but the issue for the Ghana honey is that you got Ghanaian bees flying around Ghana collecting the pollen from Ghanaian plants in Ghana and collecting dust from Ghana, which would do no good for people here because the beauty of locally brewed honey is the fact that this honey has been produced in an environment that we exist in, which means that a lot of the dust, a lot of the allergens that are floating around here are what are being collected by our bees here in Ohio. I have nothing against Ghanaian honey. It's good, it's sweet, and it may introduce some other stuff to your body that you may need. I have to do some more research, but from all the research that I've been doing on the honey, it's best to have honey that is collected around you. So what I'm trying to do is find honey producers around us. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of black honey producers, so I get it from where I can, and I'm getting all locally grown honey. This is one of the reasons why I'm because of the heat when I'm shipping ambrosia, and two, because I believe that I'm doing this. I'm not doing this to make money. Now, don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? I want to make money, but my piece is I want to introduce my people to health and to healthy habits. And if I ship somebody some ambrosia from here to Florida, they're not getting what their body needs. You understand what I'm saying? To help combat some of the stuff in that environment, because these bees are flowing and producing in the environments they're in. So if I'm getting the honey from somewhere else, or I'm sending you a product with honey that's been produced locally here, I'm not really giving you the benefit. This is why I stress to people, learn how to make your own. I love the fact that you want to buy from me. I truly 100%, I would love that. But I wouldn't be in right conscience if I didn't express to you, wherever you are, if you're not from Columbus, if you're not from Central Ohio, let me show you how to produce your own where you are so that you can get the full benefits of this product. You know what I'm saying? So you can run into something one day that'll burn your chest like the stuff Kwame got. And Kwame, you have to understand, that stuff, I only let that sit 4 days. Now I want you to understand how hard these microorganisms are working during this heat time. So what you have to understand, family, I'm not going to give you something that's going to taste the same every time. In the wintertime, it's mellow and it's slow. In the summertime, it's hot and fast. If I try to take it in any other way, my head would be blown off. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, I could drink a whole. Matter of fact, I'm gonna drink a glass for y'all right now. You know what I'm saying? So I can prove that his head will not blow up. You know what I'm saying? It's very tasty. The sample I got from you. What's the price? Now, for a gallon, I had to take the price up because I made an individual. I'm making a tea, especially for us. So the next business we might be going in is the tea business. I got to find us some sources that are as close to us as possible. Not just close in location, but close to us as possible, right? Now, a gallon is 30. Each individual bottle is $3.50. If you buy over 10 bottles, each individual bottle is $5. If you buy over 10 bottles, it drops down to $3.50 per bottle. So if you buy 10 bottles, that's $35 for 10 bottles. But a gallon is equal to 10 bottles. Exactly. So it's better to buy by the gallon. All right. Just a short Ambrosia commercial. It's very, and probably when you got the sample from me, it might have been in the fall or the winter. See, because I'm telling you right now, this heat is no joke, and the hotter it is, the faster these little microorganisms reproduce. All right, makes sense. Now I want to learn how to make it so I can make it when I'm in Ghana. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, because this is a piece. Because you better get on it before I get over there. Because when I get over there, it's on and popping. You know what I'm saying? So you better go and lock down that market before Brother Hatim get over there. Because I'm coming to Ghana. And when I come to Ghana, one of the things I'm bringing is that ambrosia. Right? Will you have some at the... I won't have none at the festival because one, I won't have enough time to make it properly. Actually, if I was to start tomorrow, I possibly could have enough time, but I gotta drive all the way somewhere to get the honey because I got the honey connect, right? And my car acting up, and I don't want to take that chance where I'm stuck all the way out. And y'all know how Ohio is after you get out the city. Right? I'm stuck out there, all this melanin. They might use me for some type of sacrifice or some shit. I don't know. I don't know. All right, but let's go and look. So once again, family, I want to make sure that everybody know that we will be having the African Village Arts Festival, and I hope to see each and every last one of you there. If you see me there, speak. Let me know. You know what I'm saying? Let me know that either you're a Daily Toaster, or you be checking out Folktales for Grown Folks, or you know what I'm saying? If I don't recognize you, I apologize. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, our family is growing. And more and more people are watching, and I appreciate each and every last one of y'all for liking and sharing the show. You know what I'm saying? So, I had an article I wanted to post up. All right, UPS makes a big, my fault, the UPS mistakes has become a perfect example of how bad things are for African Americans. Now, this story I posted on our timeline is talking about a brother and he lives in an all-white neighborhood. UPS dropped off a box on his porch, and it's the wrong address. And he called UPS back and told them they had to come back and get that box and deliver it to the right home because he didn't want to expose his son or himself to the possibility of somebody either shooting them or calling the police on them because they felt uncomfortable. So the argument is that, this little mistake lets you know how funny it can be. You know what I'm saying? How funny it can be. Sistering, a fire will be vending. Okay. All right. We're going to check you out. So y'all come on out and support her. Now, they had an article in there about the microbiome, because I'm always talking about the microbiome, because that is what the culture within the ambrosia feeds. So not only do you get the benefits of the honey, not only do you get the benefits of the green tea, helping combat diabetes, helping give you energy, helping fight dementia, helping fight all of the things that green tea helps fight, helping fight all the things that raw honey can help you fight, and then also counting in the power of the fermentation process, which produces the healthy bacteria and yeast, which goes into and either contribute to your microbiome or feed your microbiome to help you develop a stronger immune system, which helps you develop. Listen, we're going to read a little bit of this about this right now. But they say eating crickets may boost your microbiome. And I say, fam, you don't have to eat cricket. You can get some of that ambrosia or eat a piece of SCOBY. Fam, this is why I said when you start learning how to brew your own, like I said, we put on a workshop, you learn how to brew your own, because you could take the actual SCOBY that produces the ambrosia and eat it and get all of the benefits that they talking about with eating a damn cricket. Now, I'm not practicing cricketism. You know what I'm saying? I'm not prejudiced against cricket eaters, right? But you eat crickets and get some stuff for your microbiome, or you go and learn some stuff for yourself so that you can always be feeding your microbiome. They make cricket flour. Okay. All right, and then also they got gut feeling, the microbiome, and mental health. So there's a connection. Family, listen, there's not only a connection to your microbiome and autoimmune diseases. There is a connection between your microbiome. Listen, between your microbiome and your mental health. Right? Because your gut, all this up in here, your gut, in your gut area, there are neurotransmitters that's being produced all the time. So you're feeling good or you're feeling down, or that gut feeling that our ancestors talk about, are all produced by chemicals that's being produced by your gut. So your gut not only digests your food, your gut adds to your mental capabilities. So some people might be diagnosed for split personality, and it's not actually that they have a split personality. It's that it may be that their microbiome is out of balance. Some people are being diagnosed with schizophrenia, and it may not be, and I'm not saying it is, but it may not be that they are actually suffering from schizophrenia. The fact may be that their microbiome may be out of balance. Some people may be suffering from Crohn's disease, diabetes. Some people may be suffering from a lot of these autoimmune diseases, and I did say diabetes, autoimmune, right? A lot of these diseases that are being diagnosed, that a lot of y'all just like me, which got me researching this, when I start finding out that people that I love that are very close to me, all of a sudden, they got these diseases called autoimmune. And what does that mean? It means that your immune system is turning on you. And it's attacking your body. And it's causing different types of ailments. And I'm like, oh man, how can I deal with this? So I started looking for things, right? Boom, boom, boom. Fermentation popped up. And out of fermentation, winemaking popped up. Out of winemaking and the challenges with making wine came kombucha. And out of kombucha came the question of, well, I don't want to use sugar because my people eating too much sugar. I want to make something else. So, out of that came the concept of June. So, the articles are on Gye-Nyame Journey. You can read them for yourself. So, what we're going to do before, I think I heard Aunt Esther call Fred that once. Now, here we go. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull up. I'm going to play a song for y'all, giving us time to get our mind together so that we can go on and do this. Now, this is one of my favorite songs. I play it all the time. This is Oral Balance. Go and check this out. All right? And we shall return. Like and share, family.
I told myself I would tell you. People, this is legendary. I was lying, not see. I started crying immediately. I'm not a kid, I'm begging you. to make you believe I really changed. Dear, I'm proud of me. I'm begging you to come and help me find my you ain't been standing next to me. That means I ain't even I'm walking to a new beat. Yes, what you can do, some new shit. And ooh, bring it on down on a new dime. See, you playing it for the last time. What am I supposed to do? Yes, I think I found a new girl. You so long hair and looks so good, baby. You deserve to run. I won't even wash my sheets.
Yes, that is.
Can you please come home?
Real life here, Gye-Nyame Journey. That was Aura Off Balance. I don't know who the singer is. I don't know who the male singer is, but I do know who the producer is. Give it up for brother Storm 9000. And as I constantly tell y'all, family, you never know who you know until you really sit down and talk to him. Storm is one of the coldest producers, and he's from Columbus. I think born, well, I know I met him when he was young. He was maybe late teens when I met him. So I'm assuming that he was born and raised in Columbus. Storm has traveled all over the world and done producing for some major acts. And he put that together. And I said, Storm, I need music for my show. And once again, I got to send shouts out to him because Storm opened up his whole catalog to me. His whole catalog. Without a hesitation. He said, listen, boom, type this in, boom, boom, boom. You can download whatever you want. So I got old Spirit stuff. I got old, he did something called Cosmic Cookie. I got all, you know what I'm saying? When you hear Malik on here, I got that from him. When you hear Spirit on here, I got that from him. And you heard Aura Off Balance right here on Gye-Nyame Journey, and it's one of my favorite songs. And he put that together. He put his foot in that production. Did you like that song? All right, cool. So now, so that Kwame can leave me alone, I am going to single-handedly, y'all heard it, right? Y'all heard the sizzle, right? Going to single-handedly drink from the same brew that I gave him. And we're going to get started with this Folktale for grown folk. Now, I ain't going to fill up the whole damn glass because this is close to 30 ounces. We can't do that. But Kwame, this is for you. You want some?
Yeah. Legend.
Kwame, don't let the little girl outdo you, man. Don't let the little girl. You want some, Sasha?
Yeah.
Oh, come on over here, Sasha. Even Sasha wants some, Kwame. Come on, man. You've been drinking ambrosia since the beginning, man.
He said, now.
Now, how are we to know if what you say is true? Have I ever lied to you, my brother? I've been a lot of things. Are you attacking my being? Or are you attacking my doing? Here. Kwame, you, oh man, how could you ask that? I'm so mortified.
I think he called your soft.
You ain't had to read that. Now you done threw down the gauntlet. Now he gonna, come on, Sasha. Sasha, come on up on here so everybody can see that I'm not faking. Sasha about to drink some, Kwame.
Miss CeeLo said
Now yours do have black seed in it. Yours do have burdock root in it. Yours do have dandelion root in it. Yours do have what else? Oh, and ginseng. So yours is supposed to be strong. You know what I'm saying? I give you wings. I gave you wings. Has a brother ever been known to stress? Yes, I have been known to stress the truth. You got me on that one. Sasha just threw the jump thumb up, Kwame. I'm just saying. Gina taking another sip, Kwame. What we gonna do about this, Kwame? You want to send it back and I just give you another batch and me and my girls are gonna drink it? What is it? No, it's not spicy. Now, understand this before we get into the... This is a living thing. This drink. Billions and billions of microorganisms living and breathing and aging. The warmer it is, the faster they age. The faster they age, they move towards vinegar. This is what I'm telling people. So when you get ambrosia and it moves beyond the sweet point, what you do is you take it and you use it as salad dressing because it turns to vinegar. You know what I'm saying? Now, or you could cut it with water. Kwame, if it's too strong, cut it with water. But I'm telling you right now, this is the strongest. Because now what happens is the stronger it becomes, the more it becomes like a tincture and it starts extracting. The little bit of alcohol that's in it start extracting the herbal essence out of the black seed, out of the dandelion root, out of the burdock root. Man, you got a super drink. Yours actually, it should never be sweet. But you know, we got a connection with the bees. And then on top of that, you got bee pollen in there because that's a new part of the recipe that I added because I wanted people to get the full benefits of not just the honey, but the actual pollen that the bees produce, that the bees use to make the honey. So we ain't playing here, Gye-Nyame Journey. I'm trying to get, like I said, I'm trying to make sure that if you don't get nothing else, you don't get that third pillar. Excuse my finger. You don't get that third pillar. You get the breathing, right? I got breathing CDs that go. I got meditation CDs. My family out here, we doing yoga. My family out here, we got meditation techniques out the wazoo. You get the water. We got that. And you go to the store, you get you some good water. But we try to make sure you get that culturally appropriate diet. And this is a culturally appropriate diet because one of the major pieces that we had in our culture was fermented foods. This is how you keep it raw and how you keep it good. All right. Miss CeeLo say gross. Oh, here we go. Charles, they sell bottles of distilled water back in the baby department because you had something.
You said ew. She said something.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. CeeLo, pull up, baby. Pull up. Brother Kwame say, I like mine just the way it is. That is what I wanted to know. Did you put bee pollen in it? Good looking out. And I'm just fine with what I have. And one of the reasons too, also when I throw that bee pollen in there, the bee pollen introduced a whole nother colony of bacteria and yeast. Remember that. So now in the first brewing, so we actually do 3 brewings. We do the fermentation with the SCOBY and just the tea. The SCOBY transforms the tea. After the tea is transformed, I take it and then I put it in another vessel, right? And take out the SCOBY, remove the SCOBY, and put the bee pollen. Now this time what I noticed was that when I left the bee pollen in there, excuse me, drinking too much. When I took the bee pollen out, or actually when I did the second brewing, I noticed another SCOBY growing. So what this is going to give us the opportunity, once I get enough honey, I'm going to take a batch. I'm gonna ferment it first, right? Then I'm going to put the bee pollen in. I'm going to allow the bee pollen to form a nice SCOBY. I'm just going to let that sit until that SCOBY is formed and just allow that to sit there. So then we're going to have a whole different type of SCOBY. So thanks to the bee pollen, we're going to be able to do some totally new stuff. Gina trying to be super G. Thank you. You locking the door. Oh, girl, that was beautiful. I appreciate that.
I already locked the door.
Oh, now you trying to take care of her. Kwame said, and I won't forget your comment, Danielle. Just you wait and see. He gonna get you. We know he gonna get you. We know he gonna get you. All right, but hey, that's all good. So now let's get to this folktale. Ain't nobody called in, so it's just gonna be us tonight.
Since his name is Storm, then what?
All right, excuse me, Sasha. All right, my ladies is supposed to be in bed. Y'all know we got to get up early because I got to be at work at 8 a.m. Excuse me. All right, so here we go. We got folktales for grown folks. So I'm going to hold the language down a little bit because my kids here, but they used to how I talk. This is called The Mother and the Wolf. Y'all ready?
Yep.
A famished wolf was prowling about in the morning in search of food. As he passed the door of a cottage built in the forest, he heard a mother say to her child, "Be quiet, or I will throw you out of the window and the wolf shall eat you." The wolf sat all day waiting at the door. In the evening, he heard the same woman fondling her child and saying, "You are quiet now, and if the wolf should come, we will kill him." The wolf, hearing these words, went home, gasping with cold and hunger. When he reached his den, Mistress Wolf inquired of him why he returned weary and supperless. So, contrary to his want,
No.
he replied, "Why, forsooth,
Hi,
use
Sasha.
I gave credence to the words of a woman." She said, "Hi, Sasha."
Hi.
Oh, she gonna cut you off from the stir fry. You are talking about Gye-Nyame, right? Oh, she said, "I ain't never scared, and I'm not soft." And she say, "No stir fry for you." So you talking to Gye-Nyame, right? You ain't cutting everybody off, right? I'm gonna wait for a response.
No sister fry for you.
No stir fry. Once again, a famished wolf was prowling about in the morning in search of food. As he passed the door of a cottage built in the forest, he heard a mother say to her child, "Be quiet, or I will throw you out of the window, and the wolf shall eat you." The wolf sat all day waiting at the door. In the evening, he heard the same woman fondling her child, saying, "You are quiet now, and if the wolf should come, we will kill him." The wolf, hearing these words, went home, gasping with cold and hunger. When he reached his den, Mistress Wolf inquired of him why he had returned weary and supperless.
She said, "Yep."
So
Mommy.
contrary to his wont, he replied, "Why, forsooth, use I gave credence to the words of a woman." So remember, this is translated from the Greek directly by George Fowler Townsend. But we're going to look at that because I want people to get past the mother aspect and look at the whole leadership quality. So since nobody called in, and we almost at 10 o'clock, and I know that somebody going to call in and try to hold us over. I already know how the game go.
Miss Evo said, "Yep, call me." She said,
Oh, yep, Gye-Nyame, she said you can't get no stir fry, homie. Miss Diane, I'm not a wolf. I know where and how to get my food down. Okay. So now,
"It's going down for real."
it's going down for real. Go and put the flyer up so people can see it, Gina G.
Ah,
Tell them we'll be there.
we'll be there. And
You got to put it closer. Turn it around. All right. So, now, of course, some people going to get mad about the story. Because, man, they downplaying women. You know what I'm saying? So, let's get past all that. Of course, seems like he wasted his whole day. The wolf did waste his whole day. Why did he waste his whole day? Now, what I want to focus on, because there's two parts of the story. We got the wolf, what's going on with the wolf, and we got what's going on with the woman. Right? Now, we could talk about the leadership in the house, and we could talk about the wolf listening to gossip. Well, actually, when gossip was first-hand words and not being able to interpret the discussion of a mother and her child. right? Which goes back to the whole leadership piece for me, because this is what came to me when I was driving to work. Because I read that, I said, man, this is going to cause some problems, right? Because as you read the story, it kind of sounds demeaning for women, because like, oh, man, I messed up because I listened to the words of a woman. But we listen to a certain style of leadership that has been active in our community for a very long time. And it's the leadership based on fear, right? And oftentimes, what leadership that is based on fear does, it uses threats to get individuals to comply. And when the individuals comply, you know what I'm saying, those that are in power strive to salute those that have complied, right? This form of leadership has been used on us. Some of us, me being guilty, I use this form of leadership on my children, and it's something that we have to get beyond. Because now, with the new insight that we had from the workshop that was here this weekend, we know that we can't use this type of leadership to build a healthy collective. You gone, baby?
Yeah.
All right. I want to thank both of y'all for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for going upstairs so your daddy can cuss and raise hell, as I usually do on these nights, right? So, Brother Kwame said, I cannot be turned down at the African Village Arts Festival where someone is preparing an African heritage diet. Oh, is that what you... Oh, my God. Y'all stop. All right? And CeeLo, you using that fear-based leadership model. Do what I say, or I'm going to throw you to the wolves. So this mother is talking to her child. And to get the child to comply, she used a fear-based model. Now this wolf listening to this fear-based model is not really understanding the relationship. So we also could look at the whole relationship piece that's going on here. Oftentimes we know as parents, those that have been parents, those that are parents right now, that sometimes we use the promise of harm to get our children to do what we want. Those of us that are in a position of people of authority in jobs know that sometimes we use threats to get people to comply with what we want. But what we have to start looking at as a community, as a tribe, as people trying to build a nation, is the threat-based model the best, right? Because the wolf heard and the wolf got confused, right? He like, ooh, he about to throw that baby out. I'm gonna chew him up. Ain't nothing like no human meat. You understand what I'm saying? So this wolf wasted his whole day waiting, right? But then he go home and he blames the woman for her style of leadership. When if he truly understood life, he understand that not only do they use this model of leadership in human beings, but this style of leadership is what allows a wolf pack to stick together, because the authoritarian leader, the leader of a wolf pack, is usually the strongest one, and he uses threats to keep everybody else in control. So this lone wolf, I guess he's a lone wolf, but he can't be a lone wolf because he went home to Mistress Wolf, who probably was telling him what the hell to do. Probably was threatening him. You ain't going to get none if you don't bring no food back. You understand what I'm saying? So he understands this style of leadership. And he took what this woman said as 100% true. I'm going to throw my child out to you, wolf, if this child does not obey, if this child does not become quiet. So now, we have to understand that, one, when we listening in on people, we got to listen in context. We got to find the context in which what's being said is being said. This is why they call it intelligence work and not guesswork. It's not called, spying is not called guesswork. Spying is called intelligence. So you could get the signals, you could get the words that's being said, but you have to be able to understand what's really being said. The mother is trying to encourage the child just to be quiet, and the mother is using a fear-based model to get the child to be quiet. Now, the fear-based model is not necessarily good for us in as far as us trying to build tribes and trying to create super creative young people that are going to be able to go out and conquer the world. If we are raising them up on a fear-based model, we are not arming them for the race of life. At one point in time, the fear-based model were good for us. Why? Because at any given time, anything can happen to our child. At any given time, if our child did not listen to us, if our child acted out of place, our children, as African Americans here, as descendants of slaves, or however you want to look at it, because we all use different languages, and those of you that get offended, I apologize. But I'm just trying to get y'all to understand that we have a distinctive culture here that is based out of the tragedy in which our ancestors went through. So I don't want to discount that. So in order for us to raise our children successfully here for years, we had to use a fear-based model. Because if not, we always had memories. And one of the most recent memories for us, at least in the 1960s, late 50s, early 60s, was Emmett Till. If you say the wrong things to the wrong people, you could be snatched away from me. We come from a culture where our babies could be used as gator bait. We come from a time and place where, because we were viewed as property, that if our children said the wrong thing or acted in a certain way or acted too mature at a certain time, they would immediately be plunged into the world that we were in. And our job as parents was trying to protect our children from that as long as we could, which means that we had to use a fear-based model in most cases to survive. But this fear-based model is no longer serving us. Now, at some points in time, we have to be able to use that. Now, don't get me wrong. But now, if we want to be able to develop the creative, imaginative, respectful, loving, warrior, healer, building children that we need to be able to switch our model. And we need to move to, as Elder Wacase would call it, and I don't want to speak for him, but what I believe is the praising being model, where we get our children to understand their value and we can correct their doings rather than trying to correct who their beings, right? So I use the negating of being and the negating of doing to get you to do what I want. And I put you up under my control. But if I don't have a grasp on the world, if I don't have power in the world, when I put you up under my thumb, I'm putting you up under the thumb of somebody that does not have control, that does not have resources, which means that you may not be able to get that either. Now, what happens when we praise being? What happened when we use this praising being model? Let me tell you what happens when we use this praising being model, because I had to look at history. When we use the praising being model, we develop children like Imhotep. Right? Because, why, Brother Hatim? Just from the system in Gye-Nyame, just in my small few years of study, I understood back in college when I created the Players Pyramid that I had to flip the Nguzo Saba upside down, or better yet, work my way up through the Nguzo Saba, starting at the bottom. Why? I had to teach individuals, or I had to teach myself to have faith in myself and my ability to do the work and do the things that I needed to do to be successful in my younger life. So I started using that model. And what I started to find out is that as I started using that model and I started working on faith in myself and then developing a crew that I could have faith in, and them having faith in me, this allowed and made room for my creativity. And in making room for my creativity, I was able to not only write my papers, but to create organizations that held people, and in some senses still hold people together today. Right? So when we use a fear-based model in raising our children, be quiet or I'm going to throw you to the wolves. Sit down or I'm going to throw you to the wolves. Sit down or I'm going to call the principal. Sit down or I'm going to tell your dad. When we use a fear-based model to keep people in check, what we also check is not, we check their trust in themselves to make decisions, even though we're trying to keep them safe because the intention is good. But what we have to question is the model. Is there other ways that we could do it? And can we be more? Can we be wiser in how we use what we have? You understand what I'm saying? So the question, we not only bring up into question their faith in themselves, or as we teach at the school, the trust in themselves. But when we bring up the question and the trust in themselves, and the trust in their surroundings, and the trust in us, we also bring up into question the creativity. As a matter of fact, we stifle, in a lot of cases, their creativity, which stops them from being able to connect to their purpose and connect to the rest of the principles in the Gusa Sapa so that they can achieve great things. Do you understand? Do you understand? So the wolf, not using intelligence, he's just using raw information. Ooh, she gonna throw the baby out. You know what I'm saying? The wolf, not using wise intelligence. This wolf is just listening to the words that's coming out this woman's mouth and not really using his intelligence to interpret what's going on, even though he comes from an environment where the fear-based model is used and the fear-based model is clung to, because it was the fear-based model that allowed wolves to survive in the first place. As a matter of fact, it might have been a fear-based model that got him acting as a lone wolf with his woman wolf. He listened in and wasted his whole day when he could have been out hunting squirrels, because there's enough tree rats to go around. He could have had tree rats galore. You know what I'm saying? You know, in all places and time, it was enough tree rats to feed almost everybody. As a matter of fact, I think in our community we might have to have a yearly tree rat bake-off or something like that, because there's so many of these. They just eating up my damn tomatoes, killing my tomato plants, but I digress. You understand what I'm saying? So hold on, let me go back. Hold on. I've been missing y'all comments. But that woman is not of his tribe, so he shouldn't be listening to her. His own fault, exactly. And he didn't understand the language, he didn't understand, or he didn't use intelligence. Because remember, intelligence is key, because some of us is this wolf sitting outside the house. Some of us are the spooks who sit by the door, right? Hold on. My signal is acting up. My daughters is doing something they shouldn't be doing, probably. It's real life here, Gye-Nyame journey. I'm always in threat of my kids blowing something up or something. You understand what I'm saying? But the woman is not of his tribe, so he shouldn't be listening to her. His own fault. But we got to understand now. I want you to understand this. This wolf is on a hunt for resources. The resource he's looking for is food. Now, we got to understand, because these folk tales are layered. As a nation builder, I have to be able to look at this as that wolf being a nation, that woman being a nation as well as that wolf being me and that woman possibly being me in different situations. And one nation at another nation's door. Because as nations, we compete with each other for resources. As communities, we compete with each other for resources. So I have to learn how to use intelligence and not just information. So I'm going to have, and we got to understand this, we got to have this. We got to have spooks. We got to have spies that's sitting by the door and is able not only to listen to information, but to give us the information, in an intelligent way so that we can translate it and use it to our benefit. This wolf received erroneous information. And in receiving erroneous information and believing it, sat there waiting like a fool for this woman to actually throw her child out there to be consumed. Where they do that at? Cynthia Johnson says, not the best, but often effective. That's what happens when you eavesdrop and don't know the whole story and you base your action on something you overheard, right? Without intelligence. Because spying is about overhearing. You got to understand that. Spying is always not getting information from the first source, even though that's a key. But also intelligence is eavesdropping. This is why they don't mind listening to your phone calls. They are able to build the story from what you're saying and from past eavesdroppings. So they know when you got beef with somebody. You know what I'm saying? We got to look at how they did the Panthers. They built up portfolios on each individual from conversations. They might not have been able to catch all the conversations, but they was able to put the conversations up in an intelligent way where they were able to come to guess what was being talked about, or you might have ended up in one of your conversations telling them exactly what they needed to hear. If I tell y'all to get out that basement again, did I ask you? I didn't ask you why you down there. It's real life here, Gye-Nyame Jones. Close that door and cut that light off, please. Did you cut the light off in the basement? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And please go to bed. Y'all gonna still hear him. Yeah, Diane, what happened to your praise of my being? After all, you can be a fairly beautiful person when you act right. I will not negate your being. We got a language. Oh, Diane, how well you understand the lupine tendencies. Were you among Romulus and Remus? I'm sorry. I won't mess up that joke, but you have to be into some of the Greek myths to realize there was. Oh, Diane, how well you understand the lupine tendencies. Were you among Romulus and Remus when old Fenris came by to give them care? Okay. All right. If you bring Charlotte, you can have some stir fry. Not the Romulus. Uh-oh. All right. So now, but y'all get it, right? So the issue is deeper than the masculine feminine piece. Positive, negative piece. Man versus woman piece. Right? This story, for me, is about gathering proper intelligence so that you can make a quality choice, right? So that you can make the best choice. This wolf did not get quality intelligence. He just got some random information. He listened in and he took what was going to happen at face value. She said she going to throw him out, so she going to throw him out. He didn't understand the language or the relationship between this woman and her child, and he misread the leadership model. And the mom was coming from a leadership model of fear. I'm going to scare you to get you to do what I want. And when the child finally complied, the mom reversed her statement and said that if the wolf come, we will kill him together. She didn't even know the damn wolf was there. She was just using it as a symbol. Listen to me or I will hurt you. Listen to me or I will allow harm to come to you. And family, if we're going to build a tribe, we cannot build a tribe on a fear-based model. Because the fear-based model, this is what the fear-based model does. When I work with you from a fear-based model, all it takes is somebody that's able to instill more fear in me than you to take control of me as well as take control of your organization. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. You know what I'm saying? So, if we are going to build a healthy tribe, if we are going to build a tribe that we can be able, because we toast every morning. We toast our children, our children's children onto infinity. If we are going to build something that is going to last throughout the generations, we have to change the model from a fear-based model, right, to a praise-being type model, to a principle type model, where we change our language from the fear-based to the love of being-based. And I'm talking about amongst us. Now, when we talking about the enemy, have at it. You know what I'm saying? Throw all of the curses and all the shit that you want. When somebody declare war on our tribe and our family, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Get rid, you know what I'm saying? We're going to put their being down. We're going to speak words to, we're going to do like the Romans did with the, Kwame, what was Hannibal's people? Phoenicians. No, it wasn't Phoenicians. Hannibal of Carthage, the Carthaginians. How are you doing, Roman citizen? Carthage must fall. I'm doing great. I'm doing great, Roman citizen. Carthage must fall. This is one of the things that John Henry Clark taught us on his documentary Great and Mighty War. When you want to destroy something, you start negating the being of that society, of those people, and when you run into those individuals, you start destroying that. And that's exactly what was done to us. They negated the culture, they negated the tribe, they negated the family, and they negated the being. And now, it finally done reached the core. We are at a point where we are at the core, family. If we don't start building up, and changing the model in which we're using, right? We will never be able to get out of this situation. But let me go back. I'm sorry. If you not wrong, I'm done. This Kwame just expressing how much I love Diane and her alter ego by confusing emotions and language. It's also a story about survival. Yes, it is. Because that wolf ain't going to do too good if he keep on going off the wrong information. A fear-based model elects a number 45. Oh, shit. That's true. Life or death, choices and consequences. Miss Cynthia Johnson. Brother Kwame says, yep, Carthaginians, you treat them as with the intent to kill them. That's right. When you talk about your enemy, family, talk about them in a way in which, shit. We praise our being. This is why I keep on telling y'all the principles are to be used for us first. Many of us want to get out and practice these principles and be universal with this shit. Universal, whether you know it or not, the whole concept of the whole universal shit, that shit supports white supremacy. It puts them on top. Because all cultures supposedly came from theirs. This is the lesson that you get. So when you start practicing universal, what you're saying is, I'm placing theirs above everything else. So everything that has to fit in the universal model has to fit up under their model. When in fact, you came from a whole different model. Your model was so fly, and I know a lot of y'all ain't gonna get this, your model was so fly that you looked at all humanity as one. And it got us fucked up. Come, my brother, have some water. Come, my brother, have some food. Come, my brother, have some. You need some land? Oh, boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't because of this whole sucker mode that people want to put us in. It's because we saw humans in need. Same thing with the Native Americans. And one of the things that y'all have to understand, family, is that Europeans were fighting amongst themselves for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. When they started selling around the world, they started finding out how small their area was, and it went from a local thing of us needing to get together to a whole West Asian thing. Damn. Everywhere we go, we see them. We got this small little piece of Asia. How do we stand out? How do we stay on top? And this is their whole mind state, right? What is our mind state? What does our mind state need to be, right? You know what I'm saying? I like a little competition. It's just, we want to play the game. That's why I call my book The Player's Pyramid. We want to play a game, let's play a game. We're playing a generational game. So we have to plant the seeds of love and praise being in our children so that we can spark the creativity that erected monuments that they still can't figure out to this day, that they trying to claim for themselves. Let me go down here. We got some more statements. You know what it is, Charles. Y'all need to stop. You my favorite mathematician. That's CeeLo. They were thinking, how the hell we gonna eat? You talking about the wolves, I'm imagining, right? Or you talking about the West Asians? Exactly. Except they wasn't like that wolf. They didn't just wait outside the door. They broke the goddamn door down and came and ate the children. Then ate the mama too, probably. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's like, yo, I ain't gonna knock your hustle. Even though I'm on the wrong end of the hustle. I'm not gonna knock your hustle. I understand your nature now. Right? So I have to start getting my people back together and start building and start healing and start the warrior shit. So we can prepare for battle. Because you could be loving and be in battle. You can respect humanity and be in battle. Understanding that as you battle, you're saving humanity. Because that's how they feel. I want y'all to think about this shit. Whenever they go to war, they frame the whole idea of war as not that we're conquering to take these people land, not so that we could get their resources, not so we could get some more land, not so we could get the oil, diamonds. Fighting for democracy. We're fighting to keep the world safe. They frame it in a different way. We have to learn how to do the same shit. You know what I'm saying? We have to be able to look at and understand that even though we might not agree with the Bloods and the Crips, the Folks, the Vice Lords and all that shit, that's tribal war. We got two different tribes. How do we do like Shaka? Because I want you to understand. Because whether y'all want to accept this or not, Shaka was born during a time where there was basically tribal warfare going on. And he was able to unite the tribes to form a military. When we look at what happened, with Upper and Lower Kemet, tribal warfare. One of them decided we're going to end this shit. And they formed Upper and Lower Kemet. And they worked together. We got to understand this, what we're going through right now is nothing new. We have always, you know what I'm saying? We have always had these little beefs. And we have to be able to recognize who people are. See, because one of the things that tripped me out when I went to Ghana, I might have talked about this morning. I don't know whether I was dreaming or what. When I went to Ghana, I stepped off the plane. I was excited, right? And I started noticing all these black people, and all I saw was black people. And I was like, oh, right? And then I start talking to people, and people start talking about tribal people, right? So I'm with one group, and I'm like, yo, you know, they all hanging together, like, yo, hey, let's go on over with us as well. You know what I'm saying? It ain't quite like, brother, it ain't quite like that. You know, we work together and blah, 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 but, you know, they are A-Way, and they are Fonte, they are Shante. You know what I'm saying? They God. And I'm like, and as I stayed and I started looking around, I started noticing the subtle differences. The you know what I'm saying? Because as black people, you look at black people and you can see slight phenotypical differences over there, right? And the shit got like, I said, damn. So there was different groups of people over here beefing. You know what I'm saying? There was Bloods and Crips, Folks and Vice Lords. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Let me go down. All right. Regina Idrisu says, I see the wolf as a version of the convenience scapegoat. The wolf appears to be scary, one rather than the mother who could feed their child to the wolf. Then when convenient, the wolf is expendable. Uh-oh. The wolf is expendable, and the mother, adult power figure, is seen as a protector, problem solver, and provider. Interesting. Many ways to look at this. And this is the piece, family. This is what I'm telling you. Thank you, Regina. Because the whole piece is, Brother Hatim, this is Brother Hatim's view. What I'm challenging you to do with these folk tales, whether you agree with me or not, get your shit out. Right? Because there's somebody, it may be you, or it may be somebody else that need the way that you're looking at the story, family. We got to stop hiding our wisdom. I'm trying to tell you, because a lot of us, family, when we start opening up, especially those that's pouring for ancestors, that's allowing me to help you toast every morning, and we're toasting, you're going to start getting signals from places that you usually wouldn't get them from. You're going to start noticing stuff that you usually didn't notice. Opportunities are going to open up when usually they wouldn't open up for you. So I'm just saying, family, we when we get together daily and we're toasting, right? And we're sitting up here and we're saluting the ancestors upon which we directly, whose shoulders we directly stand upon, and we calling on Big Mama, or in my case, Mima, and we calling on those uncles and those aunts that loved us, and we calling on those brothers and sisters that in a sense may have put themselves in rough situations for us, and we pouring for them. What we are doing is we're completing a circle of reciprocity. And I'm like this, family. I'm one that believe in the laws of the universe. And I believe that once I start pouring into the laws of the universe, when I start doing things, reciprocity says that it's going to come back on me. But reciprocity, now y'all got to understand, reciprocity work in sevens. Let's say like for example, I never plant one seed and get one plant. Never.
Never ever.
When you plant one seed, you don't just get one plant. You don't just get one thing. I don't plant one corn seed and just get one corn seed back. No, I get multitudes of corn. I plant one green seed, one collard green seed. I'm gonna get several pieces of collard green. I might get enough to fill a damn pot, but I'm not getting one back. So when I plant one tomato seed, if I take care of that tomato seed, let it come to maturation, I get tons of tomatoes back. The universe works just like that. So when we pour in libations, we're planting a seed. And family, that seed is maturing. We on our second year. And I need y'all to understand that as long as we are taking care of our ancestors, and we remembering our ancestors, and we sending our ancestors energy, our ancestors is going to reciprocate. But it's not going to come back like you think. It's not going to come back with you just being able to toast. It's going to come back in the form of knowledge. It's going to come back in the form of what you might call lucky occasions. It's going to come back in the forms of information that you didn't have access to before. It's going to come back in the form of doors being open. We ain't playing here. So when you listen to these folk tales, these are words of an ancestor. This is Aesop. We almost at the end of Aesop's book. We on page 287, which means that on each page, there's a folk tale. So we done did damn near 300 stories. I want you to understand that. Damn near 300. We done did damn near 300 episodes of this. What's going to happen when we start getting into African American folk tales? Black folk tales? What's going to happen when we start talking about Brer Rabbit? I'm trying to let y'all know, family, this ain't play. All right, so we move on. Miss CeeLo say they don't believe in democracy. Never have, never will. We the only people that practice democracy. We the only ones that come up into our groups and practice democracy. Ain't nobody practicing democracy. Right? It wasn't a democratic move in how they got rid of that black woman at the White House. It's not no democratic move how they treat you. How they treat people that look like you. It's not democracy. You're the only one that believe and practice democracy, family. I'm just saying. This is why, one of the things that I learned, and I learned this from my younger brothers. I learned how to get in where I fit in. Follow the order. Right? Because if you meant to be on top, your ancestors going to push you there. Ain't even the top. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that term. That's a term that they gave me. Ain't even the top. Ancestors going to get you where you're supposed to be. And you're going to be able to contribute to the circle. And your contribution is just your contribution. It ain't greater or less than anybody else's. And if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, that contribution is going to take care of many people behind you. Hold on. All right. Miss Regina, that was CeeLo who said they don't believe in democracy. Miss Regina say, and the wolf believes and behaves as if he has an advantage because he hears his name and feels included in the plan, not realizing he's convenient and is easily expendable. Thank you, Regina. Brother Kwame say, historic Tasete is a military tale to revisit. Tasete. I think that means, does that mean the land of the bow? Tesete? Is that what that means, Kwame? I could be wrong, right? But Tesete is known as the land of the bow. And they ain't talking, ain't talking about the bow you put on top of your head. Because I heard they was cold with them bows. Oh my God, I heard there was, y'all got, hey, listen. All right, but I could be wrong. That might not be it. Brother Kwame salutes you, Miss Regina. He say, beautiful insight. Or more accurate, most keen insight, Miss Regina. Miss Cynthia Johnson has joined us again. See, and I want you to understand, they be dropping. This is why I say like and share, family, because they drop you off. This is why I'm going to eventually get everybody to move over to the Spreaker app and start using it, because I'm going to get the iOS, because a lot of y'all got iOS out there. Because we are, and I know a lot of y'all might not be following this, but y'all do realize that they kicked Alex Jones off of Facebook, off of Twitter. If he was on Instagram, he's no longer on there because Facebook owned that. They kicked him off of Google and YouTube and all of those functions. So now he has to function off of his own website. And I want y'all to understand this. Y'all might be like, Alex Jones talked a lot of shit. Alex Jones, blah, blah, blah. But once they start encroaching on anybody's rights, it leaves you open. This is why I tell y'all, join the Black Signal. Hit us up at 614-300-1875. Text in G&J. Text in something. Just text something so that a message will come back to you so that you can get registered, so that if something happens, I'm able to let you know what's going down with Gye-Nyame Journey. I'm able to let you know what's going on with the tribe. Who's on the line? Go ahead. Hold on before you go. Calvin, Brother Kwame say, what are we feeding the people for the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey Festival? Oh, see, I didn't want to get to that till next week because I wanted to make sure we made it through the African Village Festival. But we're gonna be feeding you fried fish. I know you're like fried fish, and we're gonna be producing a salad that is made by our children, and we're going to have enough to feed everybody. Matter of fact, I'm about to get on the horn and make sure that those people remember. The tomatoes going to come from us. The cucumbers going to come from us. The herbs they're going to come from us. Right? I'm going to get me we're going to have us a bottle of that ambrosia salad dressing. I'm not playing, family. We're going to celebrate Marcus Garvey in the greatest way possible because our children is going to provide the food. They not only are going to help with the frying of it. Our young people are not only going to help with the frying of it. They are going to produce the salad that you are going to consume. They taking it from the seed to the point of where you eating it. I'm not playing. All right. What are we feeding the people? Okay. That wasn't a black woman. She was dark-skinned, white, super supremacist. Okay. All right. Brother Kwame said, absolutely. So you're right. Yeah, I've been on the whole time. Right. After they lock up Martha Stewart, all bets are off for everyone else. What kind of fish? I don't know what kind of fish. What kind of fish you want? You know what CeeLo wants, CeeLo gets. All right. Vegetarians and vegans, you eat the damn salad. I got some cucumbers. If y'all want to contribute food from your garden, don't go to Kroger's. I want stuff from your garden because my kids is bringing food from the garden. The gardens that they've been producing. All right, so now I'm done with the comments. Just not whiting. Okay, you told me that already. All right, who on the line?
Lady J.
I had to roll my eyes up in my head. Did not tell y'all how I was going to go down. You an hour and a half late, Lady J. How can I help you, sweetheart?
I know. I just was saying that. I just was checking in with you.
Are you all right? Are you all right?
Yeah.
It's good to hear your voice though. But I told him. I said she gonna call in late, y'all. And girl, you are.
Yeah, I was hoping that you started late, but it's okay.
No, actually, because I left. You seen me leave, so I left on time so that I could be here on time because I was hoping Baba would call in. You know what I'm saying? Because I sent him a message. And so I wanted to make sure I was on just in case he called in. I'll be trying to get some of the elders on so they could drop some wisdom on us about these folk tales. You want me to read you the folk tales so that you go and give it a rundown real quick?
Yes.
All right. This is called The Mother and the Wolf. A famished wolf was prowling about in the morning in search of food. As he passed the door of a cottage built in the forest, he heard a mother say to her child, "Be quiet, or I will throw you out of the window, and the wolf shall eat you." The wolf sat all day waiting at the door. In the evening, he heard the same woman fondling her child and saying, "You are quiet now, and if the wolf should come, we will kill him." The wolf, hearing these words, went home gasping with cold and hunger. When he reached his den, Mistress Wolf inquired of him why he returned wearied and supperless, so contrary to his wont. He replied, "Why, forsooth, use I gave credence to the words of a woman."
Can you read the very last part one more time?
Right, because it's kind of, let me translate it. Because they use the term, "why forsooth," which I'm not really clear on. I gotta look it up if anybody out there want to look it up. But this is translated from Group. He said, "Why? Because I gave credence to the words of a woman."
That's deep.
Yeah, we've been dissecting it. I've been getting crazy messages on it.
Deep.
Lady J, you sound some kind of down. Brother Kwame said you sounding down. You down?
No, I'm not. I'm not down at all. No, I'm actually. I'm all the way up.
All the way up. So you want to hit it, or you just want to leave it alone for now? You want to think about it? Cut back?
He said I gave credence to a woman.
To the words of a woman, not to a woman. To the words.
As if to say, we shouldn't give credit to the words of a woman.
Well, we kind of made it past that point, but hey, it's your interpretation.
Okay,
that's what he's saying.
I do want to say this. We all know, and we are in agreement that women are wired a little differently, right? So I could imagine with us being emotional beings, not saying that men are not, that it may be a fact that we speak out of our, out of those feelings. So yeah, I could find, initially I was going to be offended.
Oh yeah, I mean now.
I was going to find offense, but what I found is truth. Yeah, I guess I'm in agreement.
All right. I mean, he gave credence. Brother Kwame say forsooth is an old way of saying for true. Oh my God, my auntie stepped up on them. What's up, auntie? How you doing? Yeah, so now let me just be fair, because I know you're gonna go in this. Because my issue with this when I left the house, as I read it for the show this morning, I wanted to take it beyond the whole battle of the sexes type thing. You understand what I'm saying? Because what this is saying, because you got emotional men too. You understand what I'm saying? So we know that that the emotions run wild in both, right? So what I wanted to do, when I looked at the story, and I started with the story as we started earlier back, I said this is a story about a leadership model as well. This is a story about somebody not gathering proper intelligence, not really knowing how to spy, which a lot of us really don't. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many different angles you can come at this from. Or you can come from the male-female angle if that's the angle you want to come from. So I just want you to know there's a whole timeline. There's been a lot of good comments, an unusual amount of comments on this story. Because I wanted to make sure, I wanted to take it out of the realm of male and female first before we jumped into the realm of male and female.
I do have a question, Hatem. You said this wolf was famous? Is that what you said? Is that the first line?
Famished. Hungry.
Famished.
Famished.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right. excuse the big lips. They get caught up on words sometime. You know what I'm saying? I'm not speaking a language designed for my lips. You know what I'm saying? So they vibrate sometime when they shouldn't.
Appreciate it. It didn't make sense, but I just wanted to make sure.
Right. Oh, the famous wolf. He was famished, and he went back. And now check this out.
Damn it.
He went back to the mistress wolf and explained. He had to answer why he came. And I want you to understand, I mean, even when you listen to the story, the paradox of the story, right? He returned to the mistress wolf. You don't just say, they could have said lady wolf, they could have said woman wolf, they could have said female wolf, they said mistress wolf. Let's look at that. I want to make sure I'm getting it right. They said mistress wolf. So, in the very same token of where they said, I gave credence to a woman, he's answering to a woman. You understand? I mean, you understand the paradox in this. Forsooth, in truth, I'm hungry because I listened to the words of a woman. And I'm explaining why I didn't bring food home. And I'm answering why I didn't bring food home to a woman. Not only to a woman, but she's known as Mistress Wolf.
It could be, mistress could also be a woman in a position of authority or control.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
he's answering.
So yeah.
He could have been like, I already had enough problems with women, I'm not going to answer you. No, he had to explain why he came home empty-jawed and been gone all day. You got to explain this, homie. Sister Regina said, we make bad choices when we hungry. He need a Snickers. Good one. Good one. That was a good one. Sister Regina, you've been on it today. You've been on it. Shouts out to Sister Regina. Are you going to be at the African Village Arts Festival? Man, that was a good one. All right, so family, we about to get up off of here because I got to be at work. I got to be at my adventure at 8:30. My fault, at 8 o'clock in the morning. But I want to remind y'all, this weekend we got the African Village Arts Festival popping off on Kaumba, August 18th, 2018, from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Gye-Nyame Journey gonna be in the house. Gye-Nyame Journey gonna be in the house. Now we're gonna have live music, bands, food vendors, martial art workshops and others. Arts and craft, poetry, face painting, culinary arts. Now, the culinary arts is going to be led by Sister CeeLo. She's going to be teaching that culturally appropriate diet. She's going to be demonstrating that African heritage diet and a meal that you could cook real quick, right? We're going to have henna tattoos, dance, and of course we're going to have a live DJ. I'm hoping that the best saxophone player, one of the best saxophone players in the world is going to be there. We also going to have a genius on the guitar that's popping up. I'm not saying no names right now. We're going to have at 5 p.m. a tribute to Prince. And I know a lot of you conscious people out there like, why you going to have a tribute to Prince at the African Heritage Arts Festival? First off, he's an artist. Matter of fact, he took the damn name artist. And second off, Prince put his money where his mouth was. Just go and do the research, family. I'm not going to go and do the research. Look at all of the so-called urban places that Prince invested some money into. All right. But, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Auntie, how have you been? I'm going to call you now because I need to see what's going on. All right, but family, I want to send y'all shots. I want to thank everybody that tuned in, especially those that tuned in on the app. Big ups. Remember, we got the Daily Toaster shirts. We producing them now, so we got a much more reasonable price. I'll post up a link so that some of y'all can get that. Remember, we still got books. You know what I'm saying? Remember, we still got that ambrosia. And Auntie, how your brewing coming? Anybody else out there brewing or fermenting? You know what I'm saying? I need to keep up with my fermenters and stuff like that, just in case there's somebody in your area that might need some. Because once you start fermenting, you get the art perfected. You know what I'm saying? You like the medicine man or medicine woman in your area. So let's get it. You know what I'm saying? We got that ambrosia as well. All right, family. This is Brother Hatim. I'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining the congregation of Mighty. This is Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Brother Kwame say, Lady J and Hatim did not know you all were going into the dominatrix mode with the mistress piece. Oh my God. Kwame, I don't know. I think I might have made that ambrosia just a little bit too strong because obviously you tipsy tonight because you came in starting shit. Let me go and take a sip. It is good, by the way. All right. This is a Heart of a Simba production, and you have just joined us for Folktales for Grown Folks, where we do the grown folk talk about the folk tales. And it's a Heart of a Simba production where we strive to blow up your old paradigms. And since we blew up some paradigms tonight, we are out. Peace, family. I'll see you in the morning.